The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, this is another episode of the ModernJeeper Show with me, Matson from Metalcloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Good. And Cowboys, Jeeps, and Country. You got to be watching the video to understand what
country
that is.
music.
But it's country music. Now, I can't see the bottom part. It kind of gets, yeah, there you go. Push them out. That's Rockstar Jeep girl, Jessy. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi. So, and I got to say, let's see, it was 4 weeks ago you showed up with the long hair, which just blew me away. Then we had pigtails last week, which that was just awesome. And now you've gone back to short hair.
Yeah. I
It's
did
like-
the all natural,
It's awesome.
out the shower look.
So we're going to be doing a new segment of Modern Jeeper. It's going to be hair tips for the
Hair tips.
off-road.
Please
Hair
no.
tips for the girl Jeeper, for the modern girl Jeepers.
Yeah, okay. I like it. All right.
The
I'll
modern
go.
girl Jeepers.
Yeah,
He's
I've
got to
got-
get a haircut.
I'm
Poor
looking
Lee.
like a little bit like a hippie going on. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's like me, like up till 3 weeks ago, or actually up till Sunday, I had like 3 weeks of growth, which basically meant it was like peach fuzz on my head. It's like, but it was just enough to get that, like, Captain Kirk, or not even Captain Kirk, was it Captain Picard look going on. But when you don't have the kind of persona that he has with Earl Grey hot tea, it just didn't work. So
It just doesn't.
all right, it doesn't work. I can't be Captain Picard, no matter how much I want to be.
Nope.
So that's fine. Instead, we are Modern Jeeper. And this episode, guys, we got next week is like Easter Jeep Safari. And I almost feel like it's important for us to talk about it because it'll make it really, really happen. Because I'm not actually sure it's still going to happen because it just disappeared last year. So, it's like it's been 2 years since we've been out there. And so
It's weird. Any event anymore, it seems like we plan as best we can and we hope for the best. But literally days before we leave to go somewhere, we just never kind of know what's happening.
right.
Since Death Valley, we've only been back for a week.
Has it? No, it's almost 2 weeks.
It seems like a month.
No, just a week because then we had to go to
See,
Cheyenne and get the trailer.
it feels like 2 weeks. I've got a lot done.
Right. And I just like Modern Jeepers know that, it's kind of like when I did a episode of Extreme 4x4 with Ian, and the most impressive part is that he is the guy sitting there wrenching on his junk. Corey is a true Modern Jeeper in that he is wrenching on his junk, especially when he goes to pick up his Jeep that had recently been Line-X and it's supposed to be ready to go and it's completely torn apart and he has to put the entire thing back together.
It's go time.
That's a true Modern Jeeper right there.
True, and we always expect the worst and we hope for the best. So, I went and got the Jeep and got it reassembled enough that we could put it back on the trailer. The trailer looks amazing. All new lights, all new wiring. I mean, every wire on the thing, from the brake lines, the brake lights, all new lights. So, I mean, it got completely reworked.
Wow.
We should have gotten rid of all of the short issues that we've had in the years past when the thing got wet.
Thank God.
No more plugs on each of the motors. So that's all now. Everything's hardwired.
Wow.
And a shout out to Bob and Mary up at Line-X up in Cheyenne and TNT. Those guys, they really helped us. Everybody's challenged, right? By coming, we order things, they don't come in when they should. Shipping times are delayed. So, we just want things to be somewhat back to normal, but we've expected that just can't happen. But we drove home the other night through a pretty good snowstorm in Vail, snow-packed roads, pulling my baby on the CTI trailer over a pass that was, I'm sure after we crossed, they put the chain law in effect.
Wow.
We got home at 4:30 in the morning. It was a long day, but we got back. And yesterday, went to the doctor. If people are watching the YouTube video, they're like, "Why has he got a Band-Aid between his eyes?"
It's a new implant.
New implant. Yeah, they put a chip in my brain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Can you like, is that like a third eye now? Can you just like
Yes.
control your computer just from blinking?
I don't want an eye. I want an arm. I would like
You know, a
another
third
arm
arm?
and a hand.
Well, like a little, like just this little thing that comes out here and just like moves stuff around for you.
Think about how
I
handy
like
that
it.
would be. Hey, can you hold this for a minute? And this arm
Right?
out of your forehead,
I,
like,
I
yeah.
like it. I
It would
like
look a
it.
little awkward.
Yeah.
Now, who cares about looks when you got function?
Well, for our followers, that was yeah, it's a little trip to the doctor to look at some possible cancerous skin tissues, basal cells in there, and they dug around and cauterized a big hole in my forehead. But you know, for all of us that are out in the sun a lot and susceptible to UV rays, that skin thing is a real deal. So take care of yourselves. If something shows up and it's odd, go have it looked at. Yeah.
Well, we all wear hats, and men don't take care of their skin like us ladies do, but wear your sunblock even if you have a hat on.
Especially if you're bald.
Yeah.
You can actually buy, it makes you feel better as a man. There is stuff called
Get a
Be
Spro.
Bald. It is Be Bald, and it is meant for bald men. And it has a SPF 30 as their standard moisturizer. Yes, I do own some, and you put it on there, and only because my wife does not want to be married to a guy that has a big liver spots on the top of his head, right?
Right.
She just said, it's not going to work. So, but yeah, it's called Be Bald. It's a pretty good brand. And I'm sure there's others, but at least you feel like you are wearing a man's, this is a man's moisturizer designed for
Put it on
bald
your ears
men.
too. Don't
Yeah.
forget your ears.
Yeah. Ears, nose, all that stuff. We know a few desert dwellers who have that big, the bulbous nose, the large ear thing going on. And you just know that if it wasn't for the amount of whiskey consumed or other things, they probably would have, other health issues going on. But
that's right.
Thankfully, I think moonshine kills everything.
Yeah. I'm going to start splashing it on my face, using it as aftershave.
Okay, you say that is funny, but I was at a fly fishing shop. It was an Orvis store, and I bought some aftershave, and it's called something or something rum, and it like literally smells like rum, but it's an aftershave, and I've used it once, and it's probably sat in my closet for 10 years, but yeah, it literally was like a rum of aftershave. I don't think you could drink it. I didn't try. Not going to, but hey, the thought was there.
It'd be interesting to get pulled over with a little bit of that, hey, you smell like you've been drinking. No, it's just my aftershave.
It's just my aftershave, officer.
Sure, it
That's
is.
it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
50 proof.
Well, in the hair industry, they have curtailed to men that some of the product even looks like whiskey bottles or whatever, or it's called brew or so.
Right. Yeah.
Have it in your car.
Well, alcohol and sex sells. So
that's right.
Now the best thing to do is be a whiskey bottle shaped like a woman, and a guy buy it every day. It doesn't even have to taste good. They would just buy it just because
the bottle.
Just we bought it. I mean, yeah. Worst thing ever happened to syrup was getting rid of Aunt Jemima. I mean,
well, we have hot. A whole.
She was hot. Okay, she was hot. She was built.
I'm moving on.
Gonna get us
but back to seriousness. And I guess I'm joking just not to confront the real seriousness of it. I mean, so did they just do a biopsy or so that so you don't really know the results? They're just biopsying it right now.
Well, they scraped it. They scrape the surface tissue off, which then they send to a pathologist. But he does that 3 times. So they scrape, cauterize, scrape, cauterize, scrape, cauterize. So
same appointment or 3 different?
Same appointment.
What does that do?
Well, so you have to get through the epidermis layer of the skin tissue. So they're basically the basal cell carcinoma lives beneath this epidural tissue, and you have to get deep enough. So, I mean, I think they're cauterizing like an edge and getting around inside there is the reason. But
So it doesn't bleed everywhere and
Right.
make a mess, and you can get what you need.
Right.
when they had to make
Interesting.
room for the chip.
Yeah.
Right. The chip and the third arm. So so now does that mean basically you can have this for the next couple of weeks? How long does it take to heal?
So it'll just turn, it's just a basic scab right
Scab
now. And if it comes back and it was basal cell, well then it just kind of after it heals to see what the tissue looks like. And it's something that this typically will get rid of it. It should go away. There shouldn't be much of a scar there or anything like that. But it is something where maybe he didn't get it all, and so they'd have to go back in and re-scrape it. It was weird. It was a weird little spot that just never really seemed to heal, and it kind of got to where it was unnoticeable. And then some mornings I'd wake up and it will have just kind of split and bled, and it's like, oh, it's like a scab that never went away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Weird. Weird.
Yeah,
Well,
it's weird.
all the blessings, hoping that they got it all out and it's nothing more damaging than that.
Well, no brain matter was coming out yet.
That's
He didn't go
good.
that deep. Of course, he
That's
wouldn't have
good.
to probably go that deep. 'cause
Oh,
my
that is
brain's
that
so
that's your sinus cavity right up there too, right?
right.
Your
Could be
sinus
a
cavity
good
is like-
place for a hose and a drain.
Ooh, that would be good. Just be able to just turn it on and just drain it out. Yeah,
And just and blow
Oh.
snot out my forehead.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. When you have a kid, you take the little airbag and you
Oh, right.
Well, I think you're supposed to suck it out, but it's more fun to squeeze it and blow it up into there.
That's just
It's
so
probably
weird.
not okay. There's probably something medically wrong with that, but it's just more fun to do it that way than to try to.
Yes.
They don't like
yes.
it being sucked out. That's just
Mm-mm.
nasty. I mean, but blow it up and yeah.
Well, we have a lot to do. We, of course, the LJ still has no interior, so there's no seats, no center console. Like
It's bare.
it is bare. So today is putting the LJ back together,
nice.
loading up our show stuff for Moab. We're going to be out there for quite a while, all week long.
And then at the races.
And then there's an Ultra 4 race.
Right.
The end of next week.
In fact, our buddy Mario came by here because he works for Gomez Brothers, and he kind of heads up their race program. And he used to be the guy who did a lot of stuff for NorCal Rock Racing. So he was just saying that the Gomez Brothers just purchased, I guess they're going after the desert racing now. They just purchased 2 more trophy cut trucks, or ordered 2 more trophy trucks, like to their specifications, which probably means bomb proof, because they don't know how to let up. But they're also getting ready. So they'll be out there. So I told them to come on by the CTI place and the CTI trailer and check things out.
Cool.
But they're going to be out there because that was at a race on Saturday. Is that what it's-
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday. Nice.
Yep.
Out at BFE.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. 1 day deal. Spectators, you can get tickets online at ultra4.com. I don't know what their real schedule is throughout the day, but it is on the website.
Yeah,
That's
our
cool.
buddy Dawson reached out to me and wanted me to participate in their pit crew this year. So
Nice.
they invited me out, and we're going to go out and see what we can get into.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, he is.
Dawson's doing a good job. Couldn't have been a better guy. So what about, I've never actually been out there during the race because we're always heading back on Saturday, right?
Right.
1 year, I think I tried to, but it just didn't work out. I think I ended up sleeping in or something. I have the opportunity to go the opposite direction. And I think that was the year where I was like, didn't happen. How's the course laid out there? What are they actually doing? Where are they going based on those trails that are out there?
They cover a lot of ground. I mean, in years past, they go the little play area up top in Area BFE that is like this little it's a little
Parking lot,
playground
yeah.
area. They kind of make a circle through there,
Mhm.
then they head down into the canyon and back up the other side. It's a pretty extensive. I mean, it's not like it's not even like KOH out of Johnson Valley. There's not a whole lot of open desert running at all. It's a lot of rocks and a lot of technical driving. So from a spectator standpoint, they kind of keep everybody, or they, at least in years past, they keep everybody up above on the playground side. But that's a really good place to watch the race from. And again, it's a lot of technical driving, a lot of big rocks. It should be interesting. I haven't been out there for a couple of years now, since BFE got shut down and was closed to the public. But Robert, I'm sure will give those guys free reign to make an awesome course. So
nice. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it'd be fun to be out there again. What's the status of BFE? I haven't really followed it. Is it ever going to be open back up to the public, or is it open?
I mean, it's my understanding that it is going to be reopened, and I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know if there's a time frame. I've heard it's already, it's available for special events and things like that, but I don't know if it's just open all the time or not. So yeah, it'll be good to get some information. I probably should reach out to Robert at some point and see what the scoop is.
Yeah, definitely. Be interested to know. And that's you're going towards BFE from Moab. You pass by Dixie 4-wheel drive, and Tuesday and Wednesday they're doing the 30th and 31st from, I think it's from 9 to 5. They're doing their free vendor show, which you can actually go online to their website and go to their events section. I don't know if there's an easy URL to get to it, but I know if you go to their website and you click on events, and click on, they'll show the most recent event that they have going on, which is this Off-Road Expo. You click on that, gives you some details, and you can actually pre-register for a wristband or whatever, which I guess streamlines you getting in. It's a free event, but that streamlines you getting into the event if you haven't already pre-registered. And you just got to answer a few questions and provide them some data, but it's free. And I think it's gonna be pretty built. I don't know how many vendors are out there. I haven't seen the list, but I know their layout included semi trucks and everything. So I think pretty much anybody who would have come out to the main vendor show is going to be there. But it's Tuesday and Wednesday, which is interesting, maybe because they didn't want to interfere with anything happening Thursday and Friday in case that happened. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty spectacular show for some people.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope it's a good turnout. People have so been accustomed to going to Easter Jeep Safari to see their favorite vendors and see what's new and all that. We do know that Jeep will be out there with the concept vehicles. Looking forward to that. I was kind of a side note. I was reading an article about the new Jeep EV, the 4xe finally got ratings from the EPA, and they weren't stellar.
Oh, really?
In fact, just in electric mode, it won't go 25 miles, and that's what they were expecting. Yeah, they're saying 21 miles. And then they did some comparison as a hybrid, and apparently the diesel engine in the Wrangler beats out the EV as far as miles per gallon.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know.
And what's the price point on the 4xe compared to, say, your 3.6?
I think they're going to be similar, but again, I mean, I don't know. For me, I struggle with the electric thing because there's this notion that there's no, it's such a green way to go for the environment, but there is still such an impact on the environment to create this vehicle that is going to give us better miles per gallon.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sold on the whole battery thing, and they have to still be replaced. When you charge that battery, that electricity has to come from somewhere. These things aren't running around with solar panels on them. Oh, which, by the way, takes minerals and mining to create a solar panel so that we don't use wind-driven electricity.
You sort of sound like an environmentalist, dude.
I know.
Just what are you doing? On a side note, we did have something to come up, and we'll be having an article about this pop up soon. But when you start talking about environmentalism and start talking about that, Oceano Dunes is having some major issues. And for all you don't know, that's out by Pismo Beach area. It has always been a great OHV area for motorized vehicles. But what is interesting happening right now, and on the very broad general sense of it, is that they are using OHV Foundation funds, California OHV funds, to put together the documents, what they've been doing for the last several years, and the evidence to convert Oceano Dunes into a pedestrian-only area. But they're using the OHV funds to do it. They're using the
make
OHV,
that argument.
Yeah, they're using the OHV funds to put together their argument. And the sad part about it, and the scary part, is that they're doing it in such a way, and they've been taking so much time to do it. They didn't just like rush out and say, "Oh, look, here's this damage, blah 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 blah. We're going to sue." No, it's been carefully put together into a package. From what I understand, this package can be duplicated. Next place, next place, next place, next place. It's so well done in how they're trying to do this argument that they can go after each and every one of the spots they want to go after.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a pretty damaging change. And as of right now, we know some people that this is what they do. This is what they do for a living. And they come out of these things usually like, yeah, we got an opportunity. Our good friend, Don Amador, I'm on the board with him at Pora as well. And he's been fighting this fight for a long time. He was so dejected by this. He didn't even want to write an article. He was just, it was incredibly unfortunate that this direction is going in. And I've never seen him dejected. He is like the ultimate optimist. And he was coming out of it going, God, what's happening now? And the fact that they're using the OHV funds, and they're going to use OHV funds to ultimately do the closure and to run it. Let's use OHV funds to run a place that OHV can't even go. That makes sense. But this is California after all. So,
well, and I know that our friends at Rugged Radios, Greg Cottrell and his team, I know that they've been in the middle of kind of that fight since it's literally their backyard now.
Absolutely.
And, again, we at some point are going to have to band together better to fight these fights, because the other side is very well organized and they have a lot of money.
Right. And the difference is, and this is what happens in our industry as well, the guys on the East Coast, when if you're a Jeep owner on the East Coast and you're an off-roader on the East Coast, you already lost your public lands. And so when you do these big fights for public lands, you depend on the people on the West Coast to get involved in it, because the East Coast guys kind of don't care. But everybody should care, because if they can go after the public lands, the next step will be the private lands. Because they can never stop, right? This is their entire agenda. Their entire living is made on going after these things, right? So ultimately, they'll go after the private lands. I'm sorry, you have private land. You're not allowed to run your, you have a farmland. You can't build a track on your farmland and go play with your motorcycles on it. That's not allowed. You need to be in a controlled area. That's not safe. It's, the slippery slope is very, very long and very scary.
Yeah, it's no different than, as we come out of this pandemic and we start to go places, it becomes an excuse to not let people do certain things, and it's about control. And again, we start to feel the other side of that as, well, wait a minute. I thought we could go in now. Things are reopening. Well, not so fast. We need to slow things down and take a look at this. And then it gives time for the opposition to get organized and go, hey, you know what? This is a great time for us to, since they haven't been allowed to do certain things, we should just keep it that way.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the opposition never stops. They never stop. This is what they live for. This is what they do. This is their entire reason for existing, is to screw with our pastimes, right? And screw with our passions. Anyway, I was doing more positive stuff. Eastern Jeep Safari.
Yes.
Gosh, I'll talk about one that actually had battles and fights, but so far we're winning on that, because Moab is one of those that's targeted. Thankfully, nobody really in Utah wants to shut it down. It's all the extra people, the people moving there from other states, or like here in California, where Silicon Valley is closing down because they're all saying, Google's saying, all you millionaires that work for us, because y'all got stock options, you don't need to come to work anymore. You can just go find out wherever. Well, what do? Boom. They left the city that they've just destroyed. And they're going they're like little ants flying all the way across. They're actually more like termites. It's probably a better analogy. They get out there and they fly out to these little locations where then they're going to start infesting those. You know, they're buying big houses and land up in the foothills around here. They're going up to Bend, Oregon. They're going out to, you know, they're going all over. They're going back home to Wyoming or wherever they came from. And that like little termites, they're going to start boring in there again.
Yeah.
But
I mean, dividing us even more, you know, dividing us from the side-by-side folks, and anybody that is an outdoor enthusiast, they've kind of, their goal is to pick us apart. So,
right.
Yeah. We need
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's, you and I will fight easily. So you between us, like, yeah, you're a dick.
right.
But that's the problem. It's a 4x4 community. We love each other, but then we'll fight each other, you know, because we're all right and everybody else is wrong.
Well, I understand that you're bringing out a Metalcloak suspension equipped Dodge Ram.
Yes, or a Ram. There's no such thing as a Dodge Ram.
Yes,
No,
just
you don't.
I have to slap myself. There's no such thing as a Dodge Ram anymore. It's just a Ram. So yes, so we will actually be driving out. I will be driving the Ram truck, which is the big red one that everybody saw at Off-Road Expo in 2019. Is that 19? That was 19.
19.
Yeah, 19.
It was 19.
It was 19 when we did a whole big video
19.
on this, the lock and load, the massive lock and load and all that kind of stuff. And then they saw it in the beginning of 20 at TDS. If you're down at TDS, you saw it because we used it down there. From there, we obviously went into COVID world and just kind of stopped even really talking about it. But bringing it out to Eastern Jeep Safari, towing a trailer with the Gladiator, with Metalcloak Gladiator on it. So we'll have that. And that Gladiator, as I understand it right now, we'll have a couple of new ARS parts on it. So it'll be a good thing. In fact, one that you are probably going to want for your Gladiator. So we'll have that and be bringing that. But the goal is actually to have the truck out there on display for everybody to come see just how flexy and sexy that lock and load long arm suspension is.
Flexy and sexy.
Flexy and sexy, baby.
I like it.
Yeah, you know, flexy and well, you've got the sexy there. I don't have the sexy. I'm sorry. But,
so we'll be running the trailer Tuesday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have an open schedule, but I know a lot of people are going to be out there running trails and whatnot. So, you know, if you stop by and we're not standing around at 8:00 in the morning, well, we're probably having coffee somewhere. So,
yeah, I'm thinking like we'll probably do like noon to 5 Tuesday and Wednesday, and then probably start a little bit earlier. Now, it's interesting because I have ads running. I did ads for ARS and ads for the CTI trailer with the local radio station, right? Now, the funny part was I had them record the ads. I wrote the ads. I had them record the ads, and they sent it to me last night. I went, yeah, this isn't quite right. So I pulled out my microphone. I said, I want them to sound like this. They said, oh, we'll just use that. So they took mine and they threw some music on it, and now the ads will be running. But in the ads, I'm basically, so for everybody out there, and let's just be straight. I'm bringing 400 commemorative shirts. 400. That's the most we've ever done. I think we did 300 in the past. And that means starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday 100, Wednesday 100, Thursday 100, Friday 100. We have 100 shirts a day to give away, which will be fun for all of us actually sorting them out before we get out there. So,
right.
So we're gonna give away all the smalls on Monday. Sorry, Triple X, you got to come back on Friday. Sorry, buddy.
Right.
No, we'll have that. So we're gonna have 400 shirts out there. We're giving those away for free. Again, when we're there, noon to 5, and on Tuesday and Wednesday, plus the CTI trailer going, which is just going to be, it's great to be back. I mean, it's just exciting to be back in Moab with this thing. Arches Repair Center, right?
Arches Repair Center, Wicked Brew Coffee.
Yes.
In that same parking lot we're always at.
Yes.
We'll also have a bunch of calendars with us. So if you don't have a calendar yet,
bring them all.
And we will have some ARS product on display because the Gladiator has a couple of the ARS things, especially some of the key components like that front hoop that makes the JL and JT ARS rack so friggin' strong. If you're wondering how strong it really is, you guys should just come on by if you're out there. Come by and buy and see if you can move it, because you can't. Cool. As well as some with the various things, the catwalk, the pod lights. I think we're getting some pod lights from Clearwater Clearwater Lighting, which actually is a place still down the street from us here. A great little company that has dimmable LED pods.
Wow, that's cool.
So you don't have to like go down and have like, oh my God, they're so bright. You can dim them.
It'd be like this.
Right. Yeah. Like you are. Yeah. You've got to work on your like studio because you get this sunlight.
Skylight.
Hey, if you do it that way, we can't see the bandage.
Yeah, just do like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, you're a little washed out, buddy.
Well, and I was just thinking to myself about lighting and other products in the overland world, and like we were talking about, even with something like Line-X, getting products to people in a timely fashion, and you know, Metalcloak has done such a good job of getting their products out to their customers. We were talking with somebody the other day about what the container ship issues are going on across this country. And the amount of containers that are being held off the coast of California. Out of Long Beach, they have a 10-mile square that is the safe zone, because otherwise these container ships are out in open waters and could be pirated and things like that. So our military is protecting this 10 square mile area full of container ships that's off the coast, because they can't come in and unload their product. 10 square miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Seattle.
Well, good thing we don't have our stuff made in China,
way.
because we'd be in trouble. That's
ready for this?
Yeah.
China is running out of containers because we're not shipping anything out.
Wow.
Yeah. It's craziness.
Wow. That is craziness.
Yes.
China's running. This is a good time to be in the container business, I guess. But then the problem is you have to make containers made out of aluminum and steel. And if you can't get a hold of aluminum and steel, because we know that there's a scarcity there. Yeah, it's a whole. See, this is all part of the conspiracy.
Start building houses out of containers.
You know, it just amazes me though.
Doing that.
What we were so I think we were so fortunate a year and a half ago. We really didn't know what we needed and what we imported and what we exported, and now I think we're all going. It's kind of funny because it has become, well, you're looking at 16 weeks for us to ship. Okay, well, that's not bad.
Well, we haven't started this campaign because we didn't really need to, but we do have a campaign in the bag, basically that I may maybe pull the trigger on next week. But is you see it, you buy it, you get it. Metalcloak. And what was the other line in there was, you're ready to play, we're ready to ship. I know we're doing perfectly fine, like many of us in our industry, but we have inventory, right? We're no more than 2 weeks out on just about anything. Body armor that's powder coated takes a little bit longer, just because we don't tend to keep powder coat on the shelf. It's just hard to store that way and make sure that it's pristine when it ships to you. But everything else, I mean, suspension systems are going out within 2 weeks. We're getting all these, like, you popping stuff up in different places where people are putting up reviews, and it's like, yeah, I was told 2 weeks and it shipped in 2 days, or so many times we will quote you the worst case scenario, because we like to under promise and over deliver. And stuff gets out quickly, and so we've been pretty fortunate about that. But that was the foresight that occurred 6 months ago, right, to start buying inventory and to just start building up the shelves. And that's just and that's the value, I can say, for some of our other companies in the industry that are sole owners, and there's many of our friends that own companies, and I've always found it fortunate having partners, because the three different minds, and we are three totally different minds, right? And we think completely differently, view the world differently, and have those discussions to be able to come back and go, oh yeah, that's probably a good move, right? So we are fortunate. We've got product and we're shipping it out every day, and it's been a good for us, especially if you want to have your rig built by one of the authorized installers out there that's Metalcloak authorized installer. many times they're choosing Metalcloak products because not only is it a good product, but they can't get anything else.
Right, right. Well, I think that, and we've spoken a little bit about this in prior episodes, but this whole last year has created this desire to be outside and to go places that we haven't taken the time to go to before, and we're seeing that. We saw that in Death Valley. We'll see that in Moab. People are starting to really schedule their trips, and they want to go, and they want to get away from it, and they want to take the time and spend with their family and get outside and go off-roading and all that. And this is the perfect time, because I think right now everybody's starting to open up their arms and go, "Yep, we want you. Come on, let's make this happen."
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think it is. I was talking to our buddies over at Rack and Road. Rack and Road was a distributor of KMS before we bought KMS, and recently was reintroduced to them for some other projects. And so I started talking with them, and yeah, like, oh yeah, we're a little busy right now because everybody's spending their stimulus checks, right? And if they're spending their stimulus checks at Rack and Road, they're spending their stimulus checks on wanting to get out, right?
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it. So it is pretty awesome that people are. I mean, you don't see this because you don't have a neighborhood, but the number of people that walk their dogs and go out riding with their kids and all that kind of stuff is significantly higher today than it was a year ago.
Well, you'll even notice the car advertisers are really hitting it hard with, you need to go on an adventure with our vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though, in my opinion, they shouldn't be, but they're really, if you really pay attention to the car advertisements,
whether
it's an adventure,
Subaru or Buick or Toyota
all
or
of them.
Anybody that makes a small SUV, they show them out in the hills, out on trails, out in the dirt.
You can't do that. Oh, you're not going to make it.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, just follow your Google Maps. You'll be fine.
Google Maps, you'll be fine.
Yeah, Google Maps will take you up into the Colorado,
into the
San Juans, no problem.
Breaking in the dough.
I do have a more serious question that we actually haven't discussed, and it's probably something to let other people know. What is going to be the policy at the CTI trailer for masks?
So we still have to abide by social distancing guidelines. If we are outside in an open area, but we're not going to be able to gather. We want to keep people safe as well, but really that 6-foot distance. And for me, outside, nobody has said anything that we have to be masked up. I'll double check that with Moab City proper. But we're not going to be able to have 50 people out there standing around in a big gathering. So it's going to be get on the trailer, do your thing, and yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, people will have them stay in their cars or in their Jeeps and in there, and you might have occasionally people walking up because you're going to walk up and get your shirt and have some conversation, but the 30 or 40 people standing around watching every vehicle, that's probably going to be a no-no.
They're sitting with their chairs and hanging out.
Right. Yeah, but as long as we have moonshine passing around, we'll be okay.
We should be fine. Yeah.
Should be fine.
We need to
no
get
problem.
Philip to bring his.
Nice. Man. So, well, that's good. I just wanted to put that out there because I didn't know what the rules were going to be or what Moab. And are we at Arches? We're actually right outside the city, aren't we?
I believe I'm not sure if that's proper or not. I don't know.
I think we're just outside of it because that's why we don't have to really have a permit to do that. But we do have the permission of the landowner, who's a wonderful, wonderful lady, absolutely amazing,
very much so,
lady who has granted us the opportunity to do this every year. So it's going to be great to be back there. So what other activities are happening out there? You guys, we don't get there until Monday. What trail runs are you guys going to do?
So we're actually going to go out with our friends on Sunday with Warren. They're doing their yearly, well, up until last year. Their customer 2020, it didn't happen. Kind of a customer appreciation run. So we're going to go out with them. We really don't have a whole lot of organized events planned. We know that there's stuff going on throughout the week, and we always kind of leave our schedule a little open because things tend to change and that kind of thing. So, it's kind of funny. We were talking last night. Because of our schedule, we're kind of not thinking in Moab mind, which is kind of screwy. We're already beyond that, kind of going, okay, what's coming up? We know we have our Moab adventure coming up Memorial Day weekend this year. Registration is open on the website. We've got Tillamook coming up, which is essentially full. We've got the Rubicon event going to be coming up later in the summer. We're going to do our Colorado adventure. And, I'm going to throw this out there now. I have not even really thought this through. But if there is interest for people to go back out to Death Valley in the fall, late fall, I think Matson maybe mentioned it a little bit last time. Like, yeah, maybe you never know what's going to happen. But if there's interest, we need to hear from you, because we're not going to go out there for one or two folks. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But if there was enough interest and we had a number of people that wanted to go back to Death Valley late fall, send us an email, reach out to us on social media somewhere, and let us know.
The weather's going to be good.
Yeah.
So
it may not snow.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course there's the Georgia Traverse.
The Georgia Traverse, yes.
Right. So, all that's coming together. That's ladies and gentlemen, Corey and Jesse have a lot on their plate now for the next.
We're already thinking Jeep Beach. We're like Moab, we got it.
Yeah, Jeep Beach done through it, planning through it, and there's so much. And yet here I am just thinking about, okay, what little thing do I need to put together and bring out to you for Easter Jeep Safari? I think I designed a brochure today. I don't know.
It'll be, since we didn't get to go out of Moab last year for Easter Jeep Safari, this year is going to be, it's going to be great just to see everybody and, to support Red Rock and support the community. Moab's been hit really hard without the Jeeper community there. As much as we've heard how much they are anti-Jeeps, they're really not. They need the dollars. So that's why we're going. I mean, and to see the people that we haven't seen in a long time. And it's Moab. It's always an iconic Jeep place. It's always going to be.
And besides, I've been craving onion rings. I've been craving pasta. I've been craving pizza. I mean, there's Mexican. Yeah. I mean, there's just places. Oh, and the what's it? The lingonberry pancakes. Right?
Now you're just making me hungry.
At the jailhouse. I mean, we've got a schedule of food we got to keep here. And there's none of this like sleeping in. We're going to get up. We're going to have breakfast someplace. We're going to make sure we have our lunch. We're going to have a good dinner. Well, we'll have the appetizers. Then we'll have dinner. I mean, there's going to be a lot of eating going on.
I take this back. Maybe folks should probably just stay at home.
Give us room.
I am bringing the company card. So we're eating well. We're going to eat well.
This is my second year at Easter Jeep Safari. This is my second time for Easter Jeep Safari.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only your second time. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, it's going to be cool because we're bringing out Chris. For those of you who have seen, Chris is a new guy with us, and he has been doing about 6 months maybe. But this will be his first time. And like I said before, he will be working directly for Corey, and he will be, 1 week. If anybody ever wanted to intern and like learn about suspension, show up and say, Corey, can I help? And you will learn more about suspension in 1 day on the CTI trailer than you would ever do on the forums or anyplace else.
I will put you to work. And you want to see some crazy stuff. Yeah, that's the place to see it.
Yep. And that trailer that Corey has compared to the one that I have out here is the perfect one for being able to just crawl under stuff, because the way it's designed, the way it's laid out, you get in there, you can go up there and take a look at stuff. And Corey gets dirty. I mean, Corey has his gloves. He crawls under. And the great thing about it, and I'll pre-apologize to anybody who's out there that has to wait an hour, because we're not just doing these like in and out 5 minutes, right? It's 5 to 10 minutes per one, taking the time to actually look at it and discuss the rig. So we're going to be out there all week. And also, guys, if you come on out and it's 5:30 and we're shutting down, please don't make a big scene about it. Like,
don't be that
we've been busting our butts for 5-6 hours. we'll be back the next day, right? And just respect Corey and Jesse and what they're doing out there, please. So what else?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I have to be the bad guy. They don't really typically tell me and throw a fit anymore.
I sick her on them. And then they're like, okay, we'll go.
We'll go. Yeah.
So it's been a little bit easier in that aspect.
Nice. So, okay. So we're giving away shirts. We have the CTI trailer. We're going to be doing some other stuff. What else is any other exciting things happening out there that week?
I know that
there's a lot of prepared for.
There are some other manufacturers that are having little gatherings and get-togethers and parties and things like that. I think our friend Jeremy Rowan at Outlaw Jeep Adventures is going to have a busy week. I know that Rugged Radios is going to be out there. Milestar is going to be out there. You know, all supporters of ours. Bestop will be out there in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure if they'll have a booth at Dixie or not, but yeah, I mean, Baja Designs and all of those guys will be running around out there during the week trying to get, you know, it's funny because we've had such limited events. So content for the content generators out there and the marketing folks, they're dying. They're just, they need stuff. They need to take pictures of things and be around people. So I think there'll be a lot of activity. And, you know, again, most restaurants there, as you know, during this week will be packed. They'll be busy. A lot of construction in Moab still. So the roads coming in and out of town, they're down to one lane, and there's a whole bunch of, I've seen images of traffic buildup where it's taken people an hour to get into town. So just be patient and respectful, and
don't get mad. Just it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. And respect the town, because the reality is that the town could decide one day, you know what? Nah, we're not going to ever let that event happen again because it's too many people and too much disrespect. And you have to be aware that there are more and more people moving in to Moab because it's such an iconic and beautiful place to live, right? So those people aren't necessarily Jeepers. You know, one of the great things about doing the Modern Jeeper Adventure, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, is that it's a very, very busy weekend at Moab. It's not a busy Jeep weekend. It reminds you that Moab is there for the mountain bikers, for the backpackers, for the rock climbers, for the nature lovers, for just the people going through and wanting to enjoy the scenery, for the tourists. Moab is there for a lot of people. It's not just a bunch of Jeepers that go out there and get to tear it up all the time.
That's right. I think I forgot. I did talk to Greg, our buddy at Raceline Wills, Mr. Greg Mulkey. He'll be out there. I don't know how many days he's staying. I know that there's a function at Grandpa's Garage, which I'm sure Danny's trying to keep things a little bit low key as well, just because of the social distancing aspect. But I know that they'll be out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the people from the industry that we just haven't seen for a long time.
Right. That's a great thing about events for us. I mean, a lot of times I love going out and seeing the customers, but there's many people we don't see except for events. You know, it's like everybody's so busy. We don't sit back and go, hey, let's do a Zoom call, man. How you doing? All right. Yeah. What's going on? It's good to see you. Hey, I see you got a new haircut. You know, it doesn't. And there are some people like who probably are going to be pissed off at me because, you know, I tried calling you 3 months ago. You never called me back. Like, kids. That's my only answer. Kids. That's my excuse. Kids. If I didn't call you back, I'm sorry. Kids.
Well, I'm gonna share a comment with our followers that you had made to me. I had sent you an article, and it just made me laugh, and it also, again, that whole perspective thing I think is so huge for people, because we're also caught up in our own little worlds. And then the article had to do with decision making, and your response was, yeah, some days I don't know whether to cry or laugh. And you know what? That is kind of a day-to-day thing.
Three toddlers.
I can't imagine all of the juggling that we all do, and we forget that we get so caught up because what we're working on is the most important thing in our whole world, and we don't forget, or we don't remember that everybody else has their own thing too. And we just, you know, sometimes we blurt out like, hey, I need this done like right now. It's like, yeah, get in line, because I got a whole bunch of that right here. Like,
Right. Yeah, and it's a great perspective being here at the office and then going home to 3 kids and then being back here at the office and going home to 3 kids, 4 dogs, 2 cats, and a wife, and then back here at the office. Right. The office is actually a bit of a vacation because I have control here, and I've set up good systems, and people listen to the systems that we've set up and established and have, things work really well. And we have a great running machine here. At home, I do not have a great running machine. For some reason, my 3-year-old doesn't understand systems. My 4-year-old doesn't care. Right.
You're right.
And the wife her hair gets pulled out by the end of the day. And, we're hoping, in fact, and part of it is this whole COVID thing. I mean, I look back at my kids and I go, God, because, they should have been playing soccer this last year. They should have been doing, like Jack, he should be doing gymnastics, and he should be doing rock climbing. Him and I want to do rock climbing walls together. He's such a great climber. And Josh, there's so much that they should have been doing this year. And it's not that like, oh, we have plenty of time. We're talking like a quarter of their life has been spent in this different methodology of
You thought
living.
you're busy now.
Yeah. And it's like it's crazy how much
Mhm.
these children of this generation are getting. I have friends that are saying, I think I'm just going to hold my kids back a year and not even send them to school because I'm not going to. In California, it's like, well, 2 days a week for 2.5 hours a day. Yeah, no, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to hold them back a year, and when things go back to normal, they go back to school.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah,
why
I mean,
play that game?
socially and all that. I mean, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Control. When we lose control, when things are out of our hands, it creates more stress than I think any of us really realize. There's nothing we can do about some things. We can get through our day, but those things that we can't control will always be the things that drive us in that direction. And something as simple as me not having the Jeep and trailer here for a couple of months created such an amount of stress just knowing that I can't. There's nothing.
That's
I can
where that
do
came
about it.
from. That's where that came from.
Right?
That was your stress
I
point.
put
right
him to
there.
work though. So
Oh yeah, we.
busy.
Well, and that's another thing is we get through Moab, we'll head to Jeep Beach. Our schedule this year is going to be nuts as
Mhm.
it's been in years before COVID. We have a lot of people to go talk to that we've not done a good job of touching them in the past. A lot of our installers and jobbers. You take a look at the Metalcloak installer map
Mhm.
that's on metalcloak.com, and you go down to installers. There's a lot of dots on that map. So having relationships with those people, let alone our customers that are wheeling in some of these great off-road parks and some of these shops that we've not touched base with, it's going to be a busy year, and people need to get outside. They need to take back some of that control and kind of go, okay, look, we're going to make a plan. We're going to go do these events, and they just need to go and they need to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is it. It really is pulling the trigger, and but that's the essence of life, right? Just pulling the trigger and doing it. Right.
That's right.
And planning it. There are some people that are really good at that, really good at planning 6 months ahead, saying, yeah, in 6 months, we're going to go do this whole thing. And then it comes around and do it. That's, I'm still going, God, I got to get my kids up in the snow this year before the snow's gone.
Right.
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 And it's easy because it's easy to go through life and come out the other end and go, what happened?
What happened?
What happened? Because I was just 25 a few years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we don't
Now
want
it's
to. I
gone.
mean, I've spent the last 3 months literally throwing things away that somebody thought was important. My mom, and you know what? They were very important to her, and I think we all do that. We collect stuff. We like things, but they just occupy our time, and then they don't mean anything to anybody else. So if your family is so much more important than all of those things that clutter our lives with. So take advantage of it and get outside and go wheeling.
That's right. Go wheeling. Go wheeling. Get out there and do stuff.
Yes.
So speaking of which, all of our friends out there, right? Like, have you talked to JT lately?
I have. Yep.
Is he going to be
out
out
yesterday?
Yeah, he's going to be there for multiple reasons. He's still supporting The race team?
Levi.
Yep,
Yeah.
he'll be out there supporting Levi, as well as I think Nemesis probably has some stuff they're doing.
Nice.
And yeah, again, so he has 2 kids and his wife's working.
He has 2 kids now?
He has 2 kids now.
Baby,
Wow.
baby.
Yeah, so they're he's the dad at home.
Harper no. Harper no.
Yeah, whenever I talk to him, it's Harper. No, Harper. No, Harper. No, where are you? Yeah. So yeah, it's
yeah. That's like Jack the other day. I was looking for him. Like, Jack, where are you? Jack. So I found him. 3-year-old kid climbed over our fence and was in the neighbor's yard. Now, for a very good reason, because him and his brother had been throwing toys over there. So he decided it was his responsibility to retrieve all the toys. So, I got to give him that credit. But he's 3 years old and he climbed over the fence and got down to the other side of the neighbors. Then he couldn't figure out how to climb back.
Oh boy.
But I got him. Now, it was good except for the fact that he had taken his pants off too. He's walking around a neighbor's yard naked. So that was interesting, that's happened before, I think, where he was walking on our brick wall, like naked. So, it's a kid thing. I guess you get it out.
Is it funny that, when they're that young, they do that? And then later when we're in our 80s and stuff, that'll probably happen again.
I'm thinking, well, this is my plan. See, I'm documenting all this so that when I'm in my 80s and I start walking around naked, I'm going to show them the video when they did it to me. Of course, they'll probably look at me and go, yeah, screw you, Dad. Call a little guy in a white coat.
Yeah, you're out of here.
Yeah, I remember the other stuff you did, Dad. Yeah, you're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah. So I understand that. Harper, no. JT and I need to sit back and have a conversation and share some stories. War stories. For sure. War stories.
Yeah.
Well, this is funny. We kind of went all over the place, but the bottom line is Easter's Jeep Safari is next week. It is surreal that it's happening. It is weird to think that it's been 2 years. And hopefully it just goes as seamless as it has been. I'm expecting to see a lot of people out there based on, the fact, the availability, that there's no real availability out there for places to stay. Which is why we're doing the more shirts. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys directly.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we may need to start a GoFundMe thing now if we're going to stay at a hotel next year.
Oh, I like it. Well, why don't you do GoFundMe to buy a house?
Right.
Yeah, because we do it right. We do it right. We just have to play the victim card.
Yes.
Right.
Everybody likes the victim card.
That's right. We can play on the fact that, I'm a foster parent and you just lost, you lost your mom last year, right. And Jessy just lost her hair. We just play the whole victim card and we just play together and we can.
I have a list. So.
Uh-huh.
I have a list of GoFundMe to get down to.
Nice. Well, it's going to be great out there. I hopefully all you guys are listening. Hope many of us come by, say hi, come by and see it. We'd love to, it's amazing when we go someplace, we meet somebody that says, hey, I listen to your podcast. I mean, that's awesome. It's good to meet you. Feel free to come on back. I will be shaking hands. So, I will be hugging. So, it's okay. Come on out, shake hands, hug. Yeah, I'm fine with, it's just who I am. And I'm not, unless if you do the whole virtual hug fist bump, that's on you. That's fine. But I'm there.
Matson
just don't feel free to come.
While, so.
Yeah, exactly. I've been out.
So just beware.
And I've got and I've got the Metalcloak Gladiator all built. So I'm
nice.
Well, Modern Jeepers. Hey, anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap up this great episode?
Nope.
I don't think so. We got some work to do. I'm going to be in the garage for the next 3 days, and we just got back from Death Valley in my mind, and we are content overflowing, and I know that folks are like, hey, when are you going to get up that story, and when are you going to?
Lots to go through.
We've been doing some real juggling lately, so I just a
getting
shout
there.
out to the folks who are following the website and that kind of stuff. And we promise we'll get back on top of that. It's just every day is a juggling mess. So,
well, your next article should be like how to choose your Linux provider. Sorry, I didn't mean that out loud. No, very, very, very grateful to Linux for them helping with the trailer, and very grateful to Bob at TNT, Bob and Mary at TNT, and
Yes.
and their Linux shop for doing everything they did to bring it all together. So
absolutely, we wouldn't have been able to leave the other night had it not been for Bob laying on a creeper underneath the
For
trailer
4
for
hours?
4 hours.
wow, yeah,
So-
he's quite the trooper. I look forward to seeing him out there. All right. Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, thank you all for joining us in this another crazy episode. And next week, if it all goes well, we will be talking Jeep with Jeep and
right.
out there at East Jeep Safari. So we'll try to make that all happen. And that being said, all our friends out there, stay safe. We'll see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.